Hey everybody, we're back at SPED Funding Masterclass Canvas course, the homepage, and here is where I like to bring us back to each time I jump in to record a video, just to acclimate you and myself to the contents of this course. And so as we go through our modules from one session to the next each month, I think it's important that we revisit just the idea, the concept, the purpose of Masterclass, and that is that we're going to use a framework. We're going to be strategic. We're going to make sure that we, that we understand enough about SPED funding and budgeting to really be effective in our practice, to maximize opportunity, and to really optimize our revenues, SPED revenues for outcomes. And one way we do that is through the use of analysis. We're going to jump into the module on analysis and talk a little bit about that. So, last month we talked about synthesis or synthesize and how we want to be very strategic and how we create these coupled data sets so we can look at trends. We can kind of take that global perspective, look down on our longitudinal data, our historical, snapshot of our practices. And basically, I always say that, our priorities are what we fund. And so when you look at how we've expensed revenues over a period of time, that's one example of that synthesized data set. Well, it's one thing to synthesize it, but we have to move past that. We have to analyze it, okay? So when we analyze those synthesized data sets, what we're looking for really, right? And think about when we're building a budget, because those are the topics for this session. When you're building a budget, you need to have something to anchor to. You don't just start saying, well, hey, let's build a budget. A lot of us say, okay, well, what did we spend last year? And then the next step would be, was it effective? And would we do things differently? And how might we ensure that what we do this year is just that much more effective than what we did last year regarding how we encumber funds on behalf of student achievement outcomes for our students with disabilities in this context. And so in this section, we're going to really go back to the basics in our budget boot camp. We're going to discuss what it means to really be results driven in our budgeting processes. And we're going to make sure that we're aware of how to anchor to those best practices, those budgeting, basics and best practices that'll keep you, keep you sound and moving forward. Remember, we're not the experts on SPED funding and financing budgeting. We're program experts, but the more we understand about SPED funding, budgeting, revenues, and how to look at these different areas and be strategic in our actions, the more influence and impact we can have on outcomes. And so I think this section is going to be a great one for you. I think a lot of us live in that area of budgeting in the special ed director role. And so we'll, make sure that we spend time discussing framework, conceptual alignment, just the masterclass way. Global insights really do lead to impactful actions. So I hope that this session and this module will be impactful for you.